The story begins in the ancient and majestic kingdom of Castilia, a land of rich tradition and vibrant culture, where the sun rises and sets with the crow of the rooster emperor. For generations, the rooster emperors of Castilia had maintained an important tradition to preserve peace and prosperity throughout the empire. Every New Year's Day, the emperor would wake up at dawn, receive a brand new haircut from the royal barber, and then greet the sun with his powerful call. In return for this sacred ritual, the sun promised to shine warm and bright on Castilia for another prosperous year. This tradition had been honored for centuries, and the kingdom had flourished under its benevolent rule. But one year, everything changed. An evil dark wizard appeared in the kingdom, wielding a magical staff of immense power. He stole the power of the sun for himself, plunging the land into darkness and despair. The wizard's reign was wicked and cruel, and everyone in the empire lived in fear and hopelessness. The people suffered under his tyranny, and it seemed that all hope was lost. But then, the 7 bravest warriors in the empire rose to the challenge. They fought against the dark wizard and his evil forces, eventually defeating him and sending his minions back into the shadows. The leader of these 7 heroes, Zhao, became Castilia's beloved emperor, ruling with wisdom and justice until his death. The other 6 heroes disappeared from history, their fates unknown to most. In the present day, we meet Arthur, a young goat who is an apprentice barber at the city's Barber Academy, run by the wise and stern Master Toad. Arthur is talented, energetic, and full of creativity, but he is also reckless, arrogant, and often late. He sees haircuts as opportunities to showcase his artistic flair rather than as a service to his customers. He is constantly getting into trouble, much to the frustration of his fellow apprentice, Shun, who is more responsible and grounded. Arthur is also deeply insecure, having grown up an orphan, and he constantly seeks validation and approval through his work. One day, Arthur is late for his deliveries, a common occurrence that leaves his customers frustrated and his master disappointed. He rushes through the streets of Castilia, delivering pastries and packages with his signature chaotic energy. Despite his tardiness, he manages to charm some of his customers with his enthusiasm, but his lateness catches up with him. When he arrives at the academy, Master Toad is furious. He scolds Arthur for his irresponsibility and warns him that he will never be allowed to cut Prince Damien's hair if he continues to act so recklessly. Arthur, however, is confident in his abilities and believes that he is the best barber for the job. To teach Arthur a lesson, Master Toad sends him outside to clean the steps of the academy. Arthur grumbles and complains, feeling that he is being punished unfairly. He doesn't understand why his master is so hard on him, and he resents the constant criticism. But Master Toad knows that Arthur has great potential if only he can learn humility and patience. As Arthur scrubs the steps, he hears a strange noise and discovers a wounded fox named Chronus. She is barely conscious, and she whispers the name, Master Toad, before collapsing. Arthur rushes to get his master, and Master Toad recognizes Chronus immediately. She is an old friend and a fellow warrior, and she has come to warn them of a terrible danger. The Order of the Claw, a dark organization that serves the Dark Wizard, is after the unhatched children of Prince Damien. The eggs are the key to the future of Castilia, and the Order of the Claw will stop at nothing to destroy them. Chronus reveals that she was attacked by the Order of the Claw while trying to protect the eggs. She managed to escape but is badly injured. Master Toad knows that they cannot stay at the academy, as the Order of the Claw will soon be upon them. He orders the evacuation of the academy and entrusts Arthur with the most important task of his life. He must take the eggs to Jacobus the Hermit in the Sunken Forest, a legendary figure who will know what to do with them. Arthur is terrified. He is just a barber's apprentice, not a hero. He doesn't know how to fight or protect anyone. He tries to refuse, but Master Toad insists. He tells Arthur that he is the only one he can trust, and that the future of Castilia depends on him. With a heavy heart, Arthur takes the sack containing the eggs and sets off into the night, with the Order of the Claw hot on his heels. The journey is perilous from the very beginning. Arthur is chased by the Claw goons through the dark forest. He is terrified, but he knows that he cannot give up. He has to protect the eggs. He runs as fast as he can. But the Claw goons are relentless. Just when it seems that they are about to catch him, he is rescued by a mysterious figure who fights off the attackers and rows him across a river to safety. The figure is silent and hooded, and Arthur has no idea who he is or why he helped him. Arthur thanks the mysterious stranger, but the stranger doesn't respond. Exhausted and confused, Arthur falls asleep. When he wakes up, he is alone. He is in a beautiful, hidden grove, surrounded by nature. He looks around and finds a small hut, where he meets Jacobus, a wise old turtle who has been living in seclusion for many years. Arthur learns that Jacobus is the same man who saved him. Jacobus tells Arthur that he knows about the eggs and about the Order of the Claw. He also reveals a shocking truth. Arthur's parents were two of the 7 heroes who defeated the Dark Wizard. They died in the final battle, and Master Toad took Arthur in and raised him as his own son to protect him from the Order of the Claw. Arthur is stunned. He never knew his parents. He always felt like an orphan, a nobody. Now he learns that he is the son of heroes, and that his life was saved because of their sacrifice. He is overwhelmed with emotion. And he finally understands why Master Toad has been so protective of him. Jacobus tells Arthur that it is now his turn to be a hero, and that he must deliver the eggs to the palace to save the kingdom. But the journey is far from over. The next morning, the Order of the Claw attacks the grove. Jacobus tells Arthur to flee while he holds them off, but Arthur is determined to fight. He manages to escape with the eggs and continues his journey to the palace. Along the way, the eggs begin to hatch. One by one, 7 adorable chicks emerge from their shells. Arthur is amazed and terrified at the same time. He now has 7 tiny chicks to protect, and he has no idea how to take care of them. The chicks are a handful. They are energetic, mischievous, and constantly getting into trouble. Arthur names them Twig, Spark, Terror, Puddle, Puff, Leaf, and Tin. They are his responsibility now, and he is determined to keep them safe. He continues his journey, facing countless obstacles along the way. They encounter dangers such as a treacherous river, a thick forest, and a gang of bandits, but Arthur uses his wits and the chicks' abilities to overcome each challenge. At one point, Arthur and the chicks arrive at a village where they are in desperate need of supplies. Arthur sets up a makeshift barber shop and offers haircuts to the villagers in exchange for food and clothes. He is surprised to discover that he genuinely enjoys helping people and making them feel good about themselves. He realizes that being a barber is not just about showcasing his skills, but about serving others and making a difference in their lives. He also meets a kind old couple, Yan and Peng, who take them in for the night. Yan recognizes the royal seal on the eggs and knows that Arthur is on a mission to save the kingdom. She tells Arthur that he has the heart of a true hero, just like his parents. She also reveals that Peng is a master blacksmith who forged Emperor Zhao's legendary sword. Peng offers to forge Arthur a new pair of scissors, made from the same steel as the sword, to help him on his journey. Arthur is deeply moved by their kindness and generosity. He spends the night with the chicks, reflecting on everything that has happened. He finally understands the weight of his responsibility and the importance of protecting the innocent. He knows that he cannot fail. The next morning, Arthur continues his journey. He finally arrives at the palace, but he is captured by the Order of the Claw. He learns that Chronus, Prince Damien's uncle, is the leader of the Order of the Claw and the true villain behind the plot. Chronus has been using the Dark Wizard's staff to control his minions and to capture the eggs. He plans to use the chicks to force Prince Damien to abdicate the throne and hand over control of the empire. Arthur is thrown into the dungeons, where he is reunited with Master Toad, Canis, and Jacobus, who have also been captured. They are all trapped and powerless to stop Chronus. But Arthur refuses to give up. He remembers the lessons his master taught him and the courage of his parents. He knows that he must fight for what is right, no matter the cost. Master Toad and the others encourage Arthur to use his newly forged scissors to cut through the vines that bind them. With the help of Twig and Puff, who have escaped capture, Arthur frees himself and his friends. Together, they launch a desperate attack on Chronus and the Order of the Claw. The battle is fierce and chaotic. Arthur uses his scissors to deflect the Dark Wizard's magic and fight off the Claw goons. He is joined by the chicks, who use their unique abilities to help him. They manage to corner Chronus and destroy the Dark Wizard's staff, ending his reign of terror once and for all. Chronus is defeated, and the kingdom is saved. Arthur is hailed as a hero, and he is appointed as the royal barber and advisor to the royal children. He finally finds his place in the world, surrounded by friends and family. He continues to look after the chicks, who have become his own children. He has found his purpose, his courage, and his true self. He is no longer a reckless apprentice, he is a hero of Castilia. The sun rose over Castilia for the first time in what felt like an eternity, its golden rays spreading warmth and hope across the kingdom. The people of Castilia emerged from their homes, their faces filled with relief and joy. The Dark Wizard's reign of terror was finally over, and the kingdom was free. The streets were filled with celebrations, music, and dancing as the citizens rejoiced in their newfound freedom. The New Year's festival, which had been interrupted by Chronus's treachery, was now a celebration of victory and hope. Arthur stood on the palace balcony, looking out at the sea of happy faces below. He was no longer just a barber's apprentice. He was a hero, the one who had saved the kingdom and the royal heirs. He felt a sense of pride and accomplishment that he had never felt before. But he also felt a deep sense of humility. He knew that he could not have done it alone. He had been supported by Master Toad, Jacobus, Canis, and the chicks, who had become his family. Master Toad approached Arthur, placing a hand on his shoulder. "You did well, Arthur," he said, his voice filled with pride. "Your parents would be proud of you." "I am proud of you." Arthur felt tears well up in his eyes. He had spent his entire life feeling like an outsider, like he didn't belong. Now, he finally understood who he was and where he came from. He was the son of heroes, and he had lived up to their legacy. Master Toad continued. "The kingdom needs a new royal barber, Arthur. Someone who can serve the emperor and the royal family with skill and dedication. I believe that person is you." Arthur was stunned. He had dreamed of cutting Prince Damien's hair, but he had never imagined being appointed as the royal barber. It was the highest honor a barber could achieve. Arthur accepted the position with humility and gratitude. He knew that he still had much to learn, but he was ready to embrace the challenge. He was also determined to continue looking after the chicks, who had become like his own children. They had been through so much together, and he couldn't imagine his life without them. The chicks were growing up fast. They were no longer helpless little hatchlings. They were becoming strong, independent, and full of personality. Twig was still obsessed with sticks and would often be found carrying one around. Spark was as fiery as ever, always getting into trouble but always quick to make amends. Terra loved the earth and would often be found playing in the mud. Puddle was drawn to water and would splash in any puddle she could find. Puff was always out of breath but had the biggest heart of them all. Leaf was adventurous and always climbing to new heights. And Tin, the calmest of the group, was wise beyond his years and often acted as the voice of reason. Arthur loved each of them dearly, and he knew that he would do anything to protect them. He also knew that they would soon have to return to their rightful place in the palace, as the children of Prince Damien and Princess Luli. It would be a difficult transition. But Arthur knew it was the right thing to do. The chicks belonged with their family, and Arthur would always be a part of their lives. As the days passed, Arthur settled into his new role as royal barber. He worked alongside Master Toad, learning the finer points of his craft and serving the royal family with dedication and skill. He also continued to visit the chicks regularly, watching them grow and thrive under the care of their parents. Prince Damien and Princess Luli were deeply grateful to Arthur for saving their children, and they treated him like a member of the family. The chicks, however, never forgot Arthur. They would often sneak away from the palace to visit him, much to the amusement of their parents. Arthur would give them haircuts, play with them, and tell them stories about their grandparents and the adventures they had shared. He would also teach them the importance of being kind, brave, and true to themselves. One day, Arthur received a message from Master Toad. The academy was being rebuilt, and Master Toad wanted Arthur to return as a teacher. Arthur was honored and accepted the position. He would be able to pass on his skills and his knowledge to the next generation of barbers, and he would be able to continue the legacy of Master Toad and the heroes of Castilia. Arthur returned to the academy, where he was greeted by Shun and the other students. They were thrilled to see him, and they looked up to him with admiration and respect. Arthur was no longer the reckless apprentice who was always late. He was a wise and respected teacher who had earned his place. The academy was rebuilt, and Arthur taught the students the importance of listening to their customers, understanding their needs, and using their skills to serve others. He also taught them about the power of friendship, courage, and the importance of never giving up on their dreams. As the years passed, Arthur became a legendary figure in Castilia. He was known not only for his incredible skill as a barber but also for his courage and his kindness. He was a beloved legendary figure in Castilia. He was known not only for his incredible skill as a barber but also for his courage and his kindness. He was a beloved teacher, a loyal friend, and a devoted guardian to the royal chicks. He had found his purpose, and he had built a life that was filled with love and meaning. And so, the story of Arthur, the orphan who became a hero, came to a close. But his legacy lived on, inspiring generations of barbers and heroes to come. He had proven that even the smallest and most unlikely of creatures could make a difference in the world. And that true heroism came not from strength or power, but from love, courage, and the willingness to do what was right.